Hello, everyone. Um, okay, I'm the other Christian, so sorry for the confusion. Um, I was initially supposed to speak only for 6 minutes. Now they told me that I have 18. I will not spend your precious time with 18 minutes for 18 minutes. But if I'm becoming boring, please throw something. I'll go out. Okay. So I will talk to you about my product and about a big dream that I had and that I turned into a small business. And it may sound to you like a compromise because big dreams turn into big businesses, billion businesses if you think big, as they tell you to. But it's not actually a compromise because a small business is larger and much larger than a dream. And it happened into my life, I made a transition from being a dreamer. I've dreamed about a lot of stuff in my childhood, and I learned from my brother to become a doer and to actually do things. And for the past 8 years or something, I've done stuff. Small projects for myself, projects that will help me learn more about my job, and also following a particular dream that I had to providing financial independence for myself and for my family. And while I was thinking about what do I have to share with you today, because I don't do that every day. Like, you know, maybe if I'm going to speak in front of 500 people, it was a big surprise for me to get invited here. So I was thinking, what was it exactly that moved me and pushed me forward? And I realized that maybe it was a combination of two things: a very tangible dream that I had about myself, about my family, and an idea. And it was not just an idea that I picked up from someone's shelf, but an idea that I was passionate about. And the combination of a strong dream and a passionate idea, maybe that helped a lot. So I built a software product. I will tell you about it for a couple of minutes and then we'll move on. It's a product aimed to web designers and product managers, and it basically helps you communicate an idea of a website, a mobile application, a web app, and with an image. We humans are very visual in our understanding, so drawing a picture of something helps a lot. And my software lets you do just that. And this is a screenshot, way too big for me to. Yeah. And the application is very simple, and the feedback from the user is that very simply to use, and I'm happy about that. And this is what you get. A drawing of a website. You can see a video player in the middle, some images, text, and a menu, a logo, and stuff like that. And it looks like it's hand-drawn, so you don't have to be a Photoshop expert or something to create simple concepts like this one. You have a palette of pre-built components, stuff that you normally find on the websites, although you may not notice them as being there, and you can simply drag and drop them on a canvas. Yeah, and you can make notes on your designs, just like post-it notes, and comment on the elements of the design. You get a high-level picture of the project you're working on. And that was it. The application. I will talk to you about the business. I started in 2008 with the idea, and I actually flirt with it for a few months. I coded a bit, I thought a little bit more. In orange you have all the, it's me getting married with the idea. And at one point I had something working, and I had a presentation, in front of an audience, and everyone laughed at me. And it was a good moment, actually, because I realized that I was on the wrong path. And I changed everything, and I rewrote the entire code base, and I actually started at that point to build a commercial product. And it took me about 6 months, and in all this time I was employed in a software company, so I would go home in the evening and code a little bit more in the weekends, which was not easy. You have to, I mean, sacrifice some time that you'll not spend with your family. I was married. I am married still, and I have a kid. And so yeah, after 6 months I had something working. I would talk with potential clients on Twitter, get feedback, and that helped a lot. And in May 2009 I quit my job, and then in April I quit my job, and then for another month I finished the first version of the product and launched. And I got a little bit of press. 2 bloggers wrote about me, and after 3 days I got the first 2 sales. It was like, whoo, you know, two person somewhere out there gave me like $100 each, and it was fantastic, a fantastic feeling. And then it started to grow. And the first month that I launched, I made $2,000, and that assured me that I have something, and I'm okay with not having a job. And then it grew slowly to a maximum of $10,000, and then went back down and back up, like that, you know. It's a very small business, but it changed my life. And in the past 3 years, I lived stuff that I haven't dreamed of before, you know. This is life. This is tangible. This is happening. 4 years ago, it was like, oh man, if I would be independent and stuff. And I have made in all this blue time. I made about 80 releases. So very often I would improve the product. I'm still working by myself as a one-man company, which is harsh, very hard. And I have about 1,500 customers. These are some of them. I'm not especially proud of these particular customers, but it proves that it's possible for one guy in Eastern Europe, not Eastern Europe, but in the east side of Bucharest, you know, in his living room, sell to a huge billion corporation. So there are whole departments in those companies that use my product, and I'm sure that it doesn't say anything special about me. It only says that it's possible, and more kids like me should try it. Although I'm not a kid anymore. These are the guys that I'm especially proud of. The other day I started to grab their avatars from Twitter or something, and it was a fantastic feeling, seeing all these faces of people. I think there are about 150 person here. So I'm one of them over there, because at one time I purchased my application. And I said it would be great to go to a movie with them, you know? They feel like an entire movie called like this one. Yeah, and it was a fantastic feeling to see their faces, and that's something that as a business owner you risk to forget, that you have real people with real needs on the other side of the internet. And yeah, I will go into it. So a little bit about myself. I'm a physicist turned into a software programmer, so I had a great time listening to the astrophysics talk. I like questioning about stuff, about science stuff, and about the stuff that science cannot answer and will not. I believe that there are questions that science cannot answer. And I recently joined a master program in philosophy, and I went back to my first love, physics, and now with philosophy of science. And I like to do music. It gets me a lot of energy, and go to the movies and hang out with my family. So that'd be all about me.
I'm sure that a lot of people would like to ask you a few questions. Who here does not have...
I was about to say, if you have a question, please.
Please come to the middle. Okay, Cristian, can
I
you help
won't
me with the
sing,
microphone?
so I won't
Cristi,
play any song.
Can you help me with the microphone? Anyone has a question to Cristi?
I'm 30. Yeah. It's written on the papers that you...
I mean, I'm sure a lot of us here work or are working in companies and they have an idea and they think it's not viable for us to go ahead and then work on that idea because it's not Facebook or it's not Google search. And I think it's one of the very, for me, I used to work in software. It's very inspirational for me to see someone who just started with a small thing and said, okay, I'm going to do this application, because he didn't do this huge product, and he's maintaining 1,500 clients. I'm sure some of you here have 10 clients or 6 clients and already overwhelmed. So, I don't know, I thought a lot of you would have ideas, just how did you do it? How did it feel? I'm going to ask you a question. How did it feel when you just stopped working and then start being a self-employed person, knowing that you just have a small application?
My wife gave me 2 months. So. So I was lucky. When I was started, I didn't know what entrepreneur means. I didn't know the word. Like, I never heard it. Something, and I found out that there is this whole ecosystem, a system of person looking for an idea, the next big thing, and I have my theory that it's more safe for us in this particular location context that we are in Eastern Europe with digital expertise in big businesses, to actually take an idea, a product of any kind that's out there, and make it better, make a better version of it, and compete on quality, not price. Don't make a cheaper version, but compete on quality. And there is always room for better, because things are changing, industries are changing. So a very old product is becoming slower in adapting to the new conditions. So you can come and with the innovation talk scares a lot. It's hard to innovate, and you don't need to. In the end, it's about the life that you're living, and the business is the second. The second thing.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
When most of us think of GPS or global positioning system, we think of our screaming